This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports in Chaco. We're delighted finally to be joined with Lee Reeves. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I just finished a tough session, as you've seen, and I'm up here in Belfast. I'm enjoying the training and feeling great, to be honest.
We've been sort of trying to plan this for a while. I know you've been up a few times in Belfast and sort of, I'd said you give us a shout and you're up, and then you were up sort of last minute sort of thing, but finally we've got you nailed down. You're hard man to track.
Yeah, I was up here for... Every time I came up in the past, I didn't know how long I was going to stay. I was getting calls off my sister saying they needed money back in Limerick, so I was up and I was down and up and down. So, but finally, we're here, we got it done, and you got to meet me finally.
Definitely is. How does it sort of, I know you've been up a few times training now with Dee. Is it just sort of because you're not in camp that you're sort of trying to learn new wee things with camp?
How it started was like I was training in Limerick. There wasn't much happening. I was back from Lanzarote, and I was just looking around just to test myself, get some good training, work around professional athletes. And I was friends with Dee on Instagram, and I got in touch, and he said, "Mate, you're always welcome to come and train." So I was like, perfect. So I arranged the weekend. I came up here training, and the stuff that Dee had me doing like really opened my eyes. I know how to throw a certain punch, but Dee kind of tweaks it a little bit, like how you enter, how you exit, what to do after you come. There's so many different exits, and I think like listening to Dee and having Dee guide me in this way, I think it's going to put levels and levels on top of my actual boxing at the moment.
It's, you know, I know Dee's very well respected, and I'm probably one of his biggest supporters. You know, he's unbeaten as a pro himself. He decided that boxing sort of wasn't for him. You know, he sort of took a step away from it and come back as a coach. But he's building his stable well. Obviously, fighters, you've obviously Lewis, WBO European champion. You've Paddy McCrory, WBC silver international, super middleweight champion. Ewan O'Neill coming through as well, and Connor and Colm. Yeah. It seems to be building a hub here in Belfast, and I think his plan is he wants to have an Olympic gold medalist, and you know he's set big ambitions. So it's only right that you can sort of learn from.
100%. I see what Dee does. I see how deep of a thinker he is. I see how much he changes from fighter to fighter. If he's working with Owen and then he changed to work with me, he's adding to Owen, he's adding to me. It's like so knowledgeable, and I see like even yesterday after we trained, he was with a young lad who had a fight the weekend, and he was sitting there with the guy's opponent, going through his opponent and how to beat him and the best thing to do. And like trainers, like it's a lost art in trainers, you know, like trainers think, no, we'll just a good jab and a good 1-2. He's looking into it, he's seen every object, he's seen every obstacle, he's seen every negative and every positive, and you're like, I don't think you're going to be more than ready with going into a fight with Dee in your corner. And I have no doubt that he'll have many champions, many amateur champions and many professional champions.
Definitely, it's a good thing to get behind. Yourself, obviously, 3 years yesterday as a pro. Your record's currently 8-1 with 6 knockouts. How happy have you been? Obviously, I think you've had about a year of an activity sort of pretty much within there as well. So how have you been? How happy are you with your boxing so far?
Definitely. In my first 6 or 7 months as professional, I was 5-0, and obviously then Corona happened. Well, no, then a couple of fights have been cancelled. Nothing got to do with my promoter. My promoter got me on the shows, but the shows got cancelled. And then I had that fight in February, and then after that I had an immediate rematch in April, and then for 12 months inactivity because of Corona. I'm always ready to fight. I stay in the gym, I stay training, I stay focused. I'm staying close enough to my weight, so I'm a true professional. But Corona is the only reason why I'm not 15 and why I don't have a couple of belts around me at the moment. But I'm very happy with my progress. I'm very happy with how my promoter is moving me, and me and my promoter both know that I'm ready for whatever he wants. I'm listening to him. He's the boss. Well, I'm the boss, but I listen to him, I trust him, and the world's our oyster.
It's the whole Eddie Hearn thing. I think Eddie Hearn's been saying the boxer's always the boss.
Yeah.
You know, if a promoter thinks he's a boss of a fighter, like if you don't fight, your promoter's got nothing nearly, so you are the boss.
Exactly,
you know?
100%. Like I never reject a fight. I'd never pick any fight. Like I've never got who do you want to fight. I've always Lee Baxter always called me saying, you're fighting this guy. Oh no, you're fighting on this date, and I'm like, cool, orthodox or soap, and he's like, Artur shorter than you. I'm like, alright, cool. Artur taller than you, Soper taller than you. Alright, cool. So now I know what to prefer. Once I have a stance and a height, cool, I'm beating them.
And your sole defeat so far, obviously, Artur Davydenko back in February last year. I think it was supposed to be, when the pandemic hit, it was supposed to be in the Europe Hotel.
Yes.
I think it was last April.
Yes.
Is it sort of, do you sort of look at it back now? I know we sort of talked off camera a wee bit about it, and you were sort of saying that, you know, we tried to make the fight and it doesn't seem it's happening. He hasn't fought since. Is it, sometimes fighters want a chance to avenge? Is it sort of one of them where you're going, if it happens, if not, I've moved on?
At the start, that's all I wanted to do, because I didn't want anybody to be like, there's always going to be doubters and there's always going to be haters and there's always going to be negative people, but I never want question marks around my ability, because people who know me and who train the gym with me knows how good I am and how much potential I have when I'm on form and when I'm ready. So for that 4-round lesson that happened, I wouldn't call it a loss, I call it a lesson and a blessing. For what happened there, I'd like to avenge it just to show people what I'm capable of, how well I can box, how much levels above of that guy I am. But I will never lose sleep over it, and I'm ready for much better than that guy. But if he wants to fight, or sorry, if he will accept the fight, I'll happily fight. Like many times we offered already, it doesn't seem to be happening. But like that, if it happens, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm going a different route, where bigger and better, and whatever comes, I'm ready for. And
since obviously the defeat, then obviously we've had the pandemic and everything else, but you've had 3 straight wins since. You're actually within 5 days in Colombia.
Yeah.
How did you find fighting out in Colombia? Obviously, it ended up you were out there yourself.
Yeah, my promoter was supposed to meet me in Colombia, and as he was coming from Canada with the corona, he ended up getting stuck in quarantine with the coach that was coming from my corner. So I ended up stuck there completely alone, no Spanish. Like it was a very uneasy time, and like always, I just took it like water off a duck's back, just kept moving, kept focused. I had a job, it was to get into the ring. I know that once I made weight and once I got into the ring, it was just me and my opponent. No Colombians, no gangsters, no shit could happen. Once I'm in the ring, it's up to me. So I was happy enough with that. I stopped the first guy, had no intention of it. Next fight, I was on the phone giving it big to my promoter. Yeah, that was easy. I could have fought 10 of them guys in a day. He was like, oh yeah, there's another fight in a couple of days if you want. I was like, yeah. If you just get me a translator to do my corner, I said, I'll happily fight. He said, oh sweet, I'll get that sorted. And didn't end up getting a translator, but I ended up fighting again. So 2 fights in 5 days, 2 stoppages. The second guy I fought, Frankie Vidas, he was 7th in Colombia. He's number 7 in all Colombia, lightweight. And he was a tough cookie. He came out hard in the first round, but I just stuck it back on him. And a lot of these guys are on top fighters, so they all come out strong in Colombia. They all come out running. But as soon as they see you're not breaking and you're ready for it, they start backing off then. So I ended up stopping that guy with a body shot. I actually stopped the both of them guys with body shots, so it's good.
Definitely, it's good to, I guess it's good sometimes to get into different countries. I say probably the one thing being in Colombia, probably the strange food and stuff as well, but they're making weight, knowing what they eat and what's actually in their food as well.
Crazy, but thank God the fruit and chicken in Colombia is the best I've ever tasted in my life. Unbelievable. Even in like supermarket, shopping centre chicken, amazing. So I was just eating chicken and watermelon, made 140 twice in 5 days, easy. So with the heat over there as well, 40 degrees, no breeze, so it was tough enough, but the weight was made easy.
And you're obviously, we sort of mentioned there, you're saying to Lee Baxter in Canada. Is it sort of a long-term plan to get back out to Canada and box regularly, or? Definitely.
Sam Vargas is fighting on January 30th, and I'm 100% intended to be on that undercard. All going well, Corona permitting, I'll be fighting January 30th, and if anybody wants to knock before then, I'm ready as well.
You're ready to go anytime. And obviously Lee's linked up with Fight Zone as well, so I guess that's given you more possibilities. This side of the Atlantic as well, I know you fought in Sheffield, I think it was last month.
Fought in Sheffield. A great show on Fight Zone. So professional. opponent that I was supposed to fight was supposed to be a good test, and they're pulling out a couple of days before. Fought another guy, the weight above me, was happy. I boxed great performance. He was a bit of a negative fighter, but I showed what I was capable of. I stuck to my plan. Probably could have got the stoppage if I wanted to, but I didn't fight in so long. I wanted to get the rounds under my belt. It wasn't about stopping, it was about going through the gears, showing my ability, showing my boxing. Like, because I get into a real mind frame before fights, like with these small gloves. Like, I get into that gladiator zone where I just want to have wars, I want to take people out, I want to hurt people. But like, I won 90 out of 101 amateur fights, so let me show some of that. Let me show some of my technical abilities, because like, as they say, a backhand can bring you around the block, but a good jab will bring you around the world, and I'm going all over the world with my boxing.
And I guess that sometimes it is, as you say there, it is important. I think when obviously Jason Quigley's fighting for world title tonight, and he was sort of saying, you know, I think was it 7 or 8 fights before he went 4 rounds. It's finding it hard to find opponents, and then it was sort of losing that experience as a pro game. To sometimes you do a few rounds, just like, not that I'm being negative in this aspect, you want to sort of learn what you're putting in the gym.
Definitely. And
if you stop someone or they go down to 1 punch, you're going, are you here to fight?
Yes, exactly, 100%. And like a couple of guys that I fought was like even in my my 5th professional fight, it was a guy, he campaigned at super welterweight. I fought him at light welterweight, and he was never stopped in 9 fights. He had, I think, 5 wins, wasn't stopped in 9 fights. I ended up stopping him. So these guys are coming. I'm not, like, my promoter's not cherry picking or getting me easy fights. Like in my 4th fight, I fought a guy with only 2 losses in 20 fights. So I'm fighting good level of opponents, but at 140 pounds, I'm 6 foot tall, and I'm not a small build of a person, and I can whack. So a lot of people, it's going to look like they're easy fights, but when I bang them, they are going to be easy fights, you know.
It definitely is. And like, Limerick's buzzing at the moment as well. We've obviously Graham McCormick, you know, his biggest fight of his career, fighting tonight in Scotland. He's fighting the BUI Celtic middleweight title.
Yes.
But obviously you have the Donovan brothers, you have Jason Hardy, you have Jamie Morrissey. Obviously he's transferred over from Muay Thai. Yeah. I can never say that word right, Muay Thai. But he's come across, and you know, he's brought something new to the sport, and he was at a big fight with Robbie Burke.
Exactly,
as well, you know.
And he showed something that a lot of fighters is scared to show, like that they won't take a fight early in their career because they're worried about their records. Like as they say, records are just for DJs, you know what I mean? And he's proven it. And look what happens when you take a risk. He came from Muay Thai, he fought 1 fight, stopped the guy, and said, you know what, if there's a fight there, it makes sense, let's have a fight. He had it, it paid off, and hopefully it's going to promote a lot of other fighters to take risks. And I think that's what will be very, very good for Irish boxing, to like push it onto the scenes of a lot of domestic clashes, of bring it back to the exciting times, to the Bernard Dunn days, you know what I mean? When people was like exciting, when the fucking RTE was booming with boxing, the National Stadium was kicking, you know, like they were good times. And like Jamie Morrissey was a stepping stone in that direction, I think. And
I know the plan is now, I think they're looking to bring a show back to Limerick. It's probably who's going to be the first there, you know, they bring one. But you know, I'm sure if there's going to be a show in Limerick, it'll not be a show if Lee Reeves isn't on it.
Listen, El Champo's got to be on this show, you know what I mean? Since I began my pro career, I've always said that my goal and my dream is to headline Thomond Park. It's never been done, there was never a boxing show in Thomond Park, but the route that I'm going, with my promoter, with my team around me, all going well, a bit of luck, a bit of positivity, I think that there's no doubt I'm going to be big enough that we're going to sell out Thomond Park in the future. But we won't jump ahead of ourselves. We'll take it fight by fight, and if there's a show on in Limerick, Lee Reeves will be happy to knock people out in front of my home crowd, you know.
Definitely be good to fight close to home rather than obviously going away place as well.
Colombia, you know.
Probably one of the biggest things that you've sort of talked about a few times there is the positivity. It seems to be everything you sort of do is around positivity. Now, I know not everything's been positive for you in life. Me and you've got something in common, that we both lost our mums. You lost your mum when you were 19. Yeah. Were you always positive beforehand, or you sort of, like I've sort of now have the thing that things happen in life for a reason. I think it's sort of out there at times, but have you found since your mum's passing that your positivity's taken a new level, or where did the positivity come from?
Yeah, definitely. I lost my mother through suicide when I was just turning 19 years old, and obviously life was turned upside down. Was never in a worse place, never took a low blow like that in my life. Wasn't like I was just a regular young fella before that. It wasn't positive, negative. It was just like going through life like numb, you know, and then really numb after that. But as time was going on, I was realizing, looking around me, I was seeing like your surroundings is so important. Your friends is so important. What you put in your mouth, whether it's food, whether it's speaking bad words, it's so important because the law of attraction is true. Like when you appreciate, like when you practice gratitude, I do believe that your life is much easier, and it puts yourself in a much better mind frame when you're expressing positive, when you speak positive. Like as the man says, if there's something gonna happen, it's gonna happen. So if you're worrying about it now, you're living through it now, and then you're living through it again. So why are you gonna do things twice? I believe that you wake up every day, be grateful for breath, be grateful for the small things, family, have an ability to train, have an ability to go out and move, be active. Because no matter how bad your day is going, there's always going to be somebody worse off than you, and that's true. That's true, because anytime I'm driving on the way home, I see an ambulance passing me. There's an ambulance, you pass, you go about your day. Somebody's lives after changing completely there, you know. So why are you going to cry about, oh, you didn't get this for your breakfast, or you didn't get this job interview or something like that? You just got to get on with it, stay positive, stay grateful for what you do have, and the blessings will come. And a lot of people are so caught up with the big things that they forget about the small things, and it's not until the small things are in the past that they realize that they were the big things, you know. So I think waking up in the morning, practicing gratitude and just being a positive person, it puts you in a better mind frame, a better physical health, and for your mental health, speaking positive, being around positive people, there's no other way to it, like, because feeling sorry for yourself, it won't work.
Definitely, and I'd sort of echo them words. I sort of wanted to bring up your positivity, because I know there's so much around mental health nowadays, and you know, having people in the limelight in the sport, sometimes it's speaking about it and telling people like if things are going bad, worry about the wee things that can make the good things better.
Yes, 100%.
You know,
there's so much that you can worry about, and like me on Instagram and stuff like that, I put up the stuff that is happy to push on other people. But I have days where I'm depressed. I have days where I don't want to get up and go training. I have days where I don't want to do anything. But I know that that's not going to help, and that's not going to make me in a better place tomorrow. So I do get up, and I do keep moving, and I do get it done, and I never regret moving. I never regret speaking positive after I do it. So if you're in bed and you're feeling tired and you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're feeling depressed, get up, move, be active, and you won't regret it.
And I wanted to sort of finish on one final thing. Tyson Fury says you're the second. What was the actual words? I think he said you're the second best looking man in boxing after himself. But you seem to know a lot of obviously the high profile fighters in the sport. Does that sort of help to motivate you to know that you've seen what they've went through? Obviously Tyson Fury, I think you're very friendly with Kid Galahad.
Billy Joe Saunders, Kid Galahad, Billy Joe Saunders, Liam Williams, Kell Brook, Willie Hutchinson, all the Ingle fighters, all couple of Ben Davison's fighters. Billy Joe now is out on his own. 1,000,000%. I trained alongside these guys, and I've learned so much from them, and especially from Keith Galahad, because he's one of the most disciplined athletes and most mentally strong athletes that I've ever met. And when I came over there, I was guns blazing, ready to take on the world, without realizing how much work you've got to put in if you want to be champion. You know how much, like, what in the gym is important, but it's what you do outside the gym, around the gym, in bed, like how soon you, like, rest, recovery, diet, nutrition, vitamins, everything. So he opened my eyes, and since I met him and since I trained with these guys, it put a new gear into my car. And since then, people that know me now know like that Lee Reeves is true and true dedicated. Like I have all the ability in the world, but like, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. But I have talent and I have hard work, so I'll stick it up to anybody, and everybody's going to see that hopefully in the next year, because with Lee Baxter signing my fights on, I'm looking to be fighting every 6 weeks in the new year. Once they have shows on, and Lee and Dennis Hobson and fights on there, I'm looking to be on every show. I'm going to be collecting belts next year. That's my plan.
El Champo's taking over.
El Champo's taking over. About time as well.
It definitely is. But Lee, also, well, thank you obviously for finally sitting down on the chat with us. I guess anybody who's probably watching this do not feel any way other than motivated, you know, with your positivity. But I'm sure we'll obviously get a catch up again soon.
Yes, sir, 100%.
Cheers, take care.